Alright folks, today we're unraveling the life of Taylor Swift, the woman who transformed her personal diary into a multi-million-dollar empire and made sure that, if you cross her, you'll be immortalized in a platinum record. So Taylor Allison Swift was born on December 13, 1989, in Reading, Pennsylvania. Yes, 1989 isn't just an album title. It's a birth certificate Easter egg. She grew up on a Christmas tree farm. That's right, while most of us were dealing with mundane backyards, she was literally living in a year-round winter wonderland. Imagine the allergies. At the age of 9, she was already performing at local events and fairs. She initially dabbled in musical theater, but found her true calling when she discovered country music. Influenced by artists like Shania Twain and Faith Hill, she started belting out tunes that made you want to ride into the sunset on a horse you don't own. By 11, she had performed the Star-Spangled Banner at a Philadelphia 76ers game. Meanwhile, at 11, I was perfecting the art of not spilling cereal on myself. At 12, she learned to play guitar from a computer repairman who showed her 3 chords. With that minimal training, she began writing her own songs. It's like learning to boil water and then deciding to become a gourmet chef. Recognizing her talent, her family decided to move to Nashville, Tennessee, the mecca of country music. Imagine convincing your parents to move states because you have a hunch you might be the next big thing. At that age, I couldn't convince mine to let me stay up past 9 p.m. In Nashville, she became the youngest artist signed by the Sony ATV Tree Publishing House, but left at 14 because they wanted her to wait until she was 18 to release an album. Patience is a virtue, but not when you're sitting on a goldmine of teenage heartbreak anthems. Enter Scott Borchetta, who was forming Big Machine Records. He saw potential, she saw opportunity, and together they embarked on a journey that would redefine the music industry. In 2006, at 16, she released her self-titled debut album, Taylor Swift. The lead single, Tim McGraw, wasn't about Tim McGraw per se, but more about an ex-boyfriend and the memories attached to a Tim McGraw song. Meta, right? Her second album, Fearless, dropped in 2008, featuring hits like Love Story and You Belong With Me. The album didn't just perform well, it dominated. It won 4 Grammy Awards, including Album of the Year, making her the youngest artist to receive that honor at the time. While most teenagers were navigating awkward school dances, she was collecting awards like Pokemon cards. But let's talk about the 2009 MTV Video Music Awards. A moment etched in pop culture infamy. Taylor wins Best Female Video for You Belong With Me. As she's giving her acceptance speech, Kanye West jumps on stage, grabs the mic, and declares that Beyoncé had one of the best videos of all time. It was the "I'ma let you finish" heard around the world. Taylor stood there, stunned, in what became the most awkward interruption since the invention of the knock-knock joke. Instead of retreating, she channeled the experience into her music. Her third album, Speak Now, released in 2010, featured tracks that fans eagerly dissected for references to her personal life. She wrote all 14 songs by herself, probably because co-writers couldn't keep up with her speed or the sheer volume of ex-boyfriends. In 2012, she released Red, an album that marked a shift toward pop while still holding onto her country roots. Hits like We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together and I Knew You Were Trouble became anthems for anyone who's ever regretted a text message. The album was nominated for Album of the Year at the Grammys, but didn't win, which probably provided her with enough motivation and material for her next project. Her full pop transformation came with the 2014 release of 1989, featuring chart toppers like Shake It Off, Blank Space, and Bad Blood. The album was a commercial juggernaut, winning 3 Grammy Awards, including Album of the Year. She became the first woman to win that award twice for her own albums. At this point, The Grammys might as well have installed a revolving door just for her. But fame is a double-edged sword. Her dating life became tabloid fodder, dissected more thoroughly than a high school biology project. Critics accused her of using her relationships for publicity, as if male artists haven't been doing the same since the invention of the love song. In 2016, the feud with Kanye West reignited over his song Famous, which included a controversial lyric about her. There was drama involving leaked phone calls, social media shade, and enough passive-aggressive subtweets to fuel a doctoral thesis on modern communication. It was the celebrity feud equivalent of a reality TV show, but with better production value. Feeling vilified, she took a hiatus from the public eye. In 2017, she emerged with Reputation, an album that tackled her public image head-on. The lead single, Look What You Made Me Do, was a departure from her previous work, featuring darker themes and a music video where she literally buried the old Taylor. Subtle as a sledgehammer. In 2019, she released Lover, an album that returned to a more upbeat and romantic tone. But behind the scenes, a battle was brewing over the ownership of her master recordings. When her former label was sold to a company owned by Scooter Braun, she publicly expressed her discontent, highlighting issues of artist rights and ownership. It's like painting a masterpiece and then finding out someone else owns the canvas. Determined to regain control, she announced plans to re-record her old albums. True to her word, she released Fearless Taylor's version in 2021, which topped charts and proved that she could outdo her past self. It's like challenging your reflection to a duel and winning. During the pandemic, she surprised fans with two indie folk albums, Folklore and Evermore, both released in 2020. Folklore won the Grammy for Album of the Year, making her the first woman to win the award 3 times. At this rate, the Grammys might consider renaming the ceremony the Taylor Swift Appreciation Night. Beyond her music, she's been a vocal advocate for various causes, including LGBTQ rights, gender equality, and voter registration. She even took on Apple Music and won, convincing them to pay artists during trial streaming periods. When you're strong-arming tech giants, you know you've reached a new level of influence. In 2021, she released Red Taylor's version, which included the much-anticipated 10-minute version of All Too Well. Fans rejoiced, and the internet did what it does best, turned it into memes and speculation. The short film accompanying the song added fuel to the fire, leading to renewed discussions about past relationships. Dating Taylor Swift is like signing a release form for future artistic use of your likeness. So what's Taylor Swift's legacy? With over 200 million records sold worldwide, she's one of the best-selling music artists in history. She's broken more records than a clumsy DJ and has a trophy case that could cause structural damage to her house. In the end, Taylor Swift is more than a pop star. She's a cultural phenomenon. She turned personal narratives into universal experiences, making us all feel a little less alone in our awkwardness and heartbreak. Whether you're a die-hard Swiftie or just someone who can't escape her songs on the radio, her impact is undeniable. If you enjoyed this extended deep dive into the life of Taylor Swift, feel free to like the video and subscribe, or don't. But remember, your feedback might just become the chorus of her next hit single.